buying insurance for your home has been a source of inflation as we've been trying to manage inflation. Now, I don't know anyone who doesn't see this crisis of rising insurance rates as being caused by extreme weather events. We've seen massive flooding in the southeastern United States. We've seen flooding in Minnesota. We've seen fires in the Mountain West in California. I mean, these are climate-related events. That's not a political position. That is just a fact. So, we've got banks that of course, require, understandably, that a homeowner provide insurance as a predicate for getting a mortgage. So there's a big question about what's going to happen when insurance becomes unaffordable, or in some parts of the country, just literally not available, and what impact that would have on the mortgage markets, on the value of American homes. Just last week, a new analysis from First Street showed that overall, the value of U.S. real estate could be reduced by $1.4 trillion, colleagues, over the next 30 years due to unaccounted for climate risk. That's the cost, the risk of not being able to afford home insurance because of these extreme weather events. And the prospect of trillions of dollars of property become uninsurable is clearly a recipe, it seems to me, for market instability, both in the rental as well as the mortgage market. So my question, Chair Powell, is, given these trends, how do you think the Fed and how do you think we should be thinking about the challenges that these events are going to pose to insurance markets and to the overall financial stability of the economy? I'm asking you to comment specifically on climate change, because I understand my colleagues on the other side of the aisle see that as a political question. It's more like what you see as the risk to financial stability here.
So let me quickly note that we don't regulate or supervise insurance companies for the most part, but we're seeing the same thing, which is both banks and insurance companies are pulling out of areas, coastal areas and things like that, or areas where there are a lot of fires. So what that is going to mean is that, if you fast forward 10 or 15 years, there are going to be regions of the country where you can't get a mortgage, there won't be ATMs, there won't, the banks won't have branches and things like that. Right. That's a possibility coming up down the road. It's not that the banks will stay there and keep making loans in the face of evidence of disaster, or that insurance companies will do right policies. They can cancel those policies every year. Right. So I think the risk is that they just won't be there and that people won't be able to get them. That's really the issue. And it seems to me that that would be a massive source of instability in our economy overall if you were to see that kind of dramatic decline in home ownership, home values, not to mention the disruption that would occur if people literally couldn't be in their homes anymore. So I think it's going to fall, if that happens, it'll fall on homeowners and right. residents, but it'll also fall on state and local governments, which you see happening now, where they're stepping in states where insurance is going away, private insurance. You're seeing states step in because they want those areas to remain prosperous. So I don't know that it's a financial stability issue, but it certainly will have significant economic consequences. Well, certainly to try to figure out how to provide reinsurance, as an example, in the places where commercial insurance isn't available, would be a massive impact on state budgets, if to follow your chain of thinking. And I know in this committee, I've heard some of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle talk about the challenges overall with flood insurance, just as an example, and the massive expense that would have for us as well. I raise this, colleagues, because I think that this is an important issue that we need to be paying attention to. I do think it has a fundamental impact on the overall health of our economy as we look not even down the road, but where we are right now. So I'm out of time. Thank you, Chair Powell. I have a question. You and I have talked quite frequently about my deep and keen interest in the Community Reinvestment Act, and I'll follow up with a question on that for the record.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Smith. Senator Hagerty.
Thank you, Chairman Scott. Chairman Powell, it's good to see you here today. Welcome. I want to start by talking to you a bit about markets and inflation. Less than 6 months ago, you expressed some serious concerns about labor market weakness and the risk of persistent inflation. But since then, the FOMC has begun its easing cycle and cut its target rate by 100 basis points, as you mentioned in your opening remarks. Now, in the January meeting, the FOMC has telegraphed that it felt both the labor market and inflation have reached a point where you're comfortable maintaining its target range. And My question is this. The recent market data, including last week's strong jobs report, indicate that the economy is on firm ground. Indeed, swaps markets have begun to price in fewer and fewer cuts this year. And I just wanted to talk broadly about these market conditions that you see. Do you see evidence of a higher neutral rate emerging at this point?
Yes, I mean, let me say, there was a lot of reason to be concerned about downside risk in the labor market toward the middle of this year, but really that concern has diminished significantly. Labor market's very strong. I think the evidence is, my own view, and there are many different views on this, but is that the neutral rate will have risen meaningfully, very hard to be precise about it, from what it was. It was clearly very, very low before the pandemic. Extraordinarily low, historically so. But yes, I think it's moved up, and many of my colleagues on the FOMC feel that way too.
It certainly seems that way. I'd like to turn now to what seems to be a very popular topic right at this point, and that's the CFPB. In your response to Senator Britt's question earlier, you confirmed that when the CFPB submits quarterly funding requests, the Fed is not in a position to exercise any discretion over what the funds are used for. Is that correct?
As long as it's compliant with the law.
It just strikes me that the Fed is not in a position to hold the CFPB accountable for what it does or how it spends its money. Congress hasn't been allowed to hold the CFPB accountable for what it does or how it spends its money. It looks like no one has been able to hold the CFPB accountable at all. And now I hear, complaints coming from every corner, particularly from the other side, complaints about the excessive delegation of authority to a Republican CFPB director when this entity was intentionally created to be wholly unresponsive to elected officials. So I just find that quite rich. Before I close, I'd like to come to a point on climate, and particularly the Fed's forays into climate activism that have taken place over these past 4 years and the recent retrenchment that we've seen. It's one thing for the Fed to disassociate from its past climate activism in a press release, but to credibly claim that it's divorced itself from partisan climate policies, the Fed needs to do more than just issue statements. It needs to actually end its climate policies. The Fed's independence from politics is a headline topic at the moment, of course, and while much attention has been given to potential external pressures on the Fed, I think it's also critical that we scrutinize how the Fed's own regulation and supervision might be utilized to in some way politicize the institution. So when the central bank strays from its mandate by embracing partisan climate policies, the Fed embroils itself in controversial political debates and invites legitimate political scrutiny. So I just want to urge the Fed to refocus entirely on its core statutory mandates. I know it's a commitment that both you and I share, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Warnock.
Thank you very much, Chairman Scott, and welcome again, Chairman Powell. I want to echo the words of Ranking Member Warren and so many of my colleagues today on DOGE and Project 2025's illegal attack on the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Certainly the Bureau was not created to be dismantled. And since its inception, the CFPB has been the only federal agency solely dedicated to protecting Americans' wallets and pocketbooks from scammers and predatory companies in financial services. The CFPB reduced costs for Americans, returning more than $21 billion to Americans who have been cheated since its inception. I want us to focus on that as folks are talking about chasing after waste and fraud and abuse. The CFPB has returned more than $21 billion to Americans. Make no mistake, this attack on the CFPB will increase costs for Americans, and it will give the green light to fraudsters and predatory actors seeking to cheat hardworking Americans. And so, Chairman Powell, thousands of Georgians of all political stripes have written into my office, and they are alarmed by an unelected billionaire and his hacksters' dangerous attempts to access Americans' private data and the Treasury Department's systems that control $6 trillion in annual payments to millions of American citizens, including Social Security, Medicare, and tax refunds. Quickly, yes or no, has Elon Musk or members of his team to your knowledge, attempted to access the Fed's protected data and systems? Yes or no?
I don't
To your
believe so.
knowledge.
I don't believe so.
Okay, so will you commit to report to this committee, majority and minority, immediately should you become aware of any such attempt by Elon Musk or DOGE to pierce the Fed's independence or to access its protected systems?
Yes.
Thank you for that commitment. The Fed's latest monetary policy report states that the tight labor market has allowed employment and earnings gaps between Black and Hispanic Americans and white Americans to narrow. I was glad to see that many of the long-standing disparities in employment and wages by sex, race, ethnicity, and education have narrowed under the Biden administration. Some gaps have reached historic lows. Specifically, the employment gap for Black workers and white workers is near its lowest point in almost 50 years. That is the economy that the Trump administration is inheriting, a historic low in almost 50 years. Chair Powell, as you work to promote maximum employment, what steps will the Fed take to ensure that these equity gains are permanent?
So the best thing we can do is it's both of our mandates, really, because as you well know, high inflation hits people at the low end of the income spectrum first and most. And in addition to that, we know that the benefits of a strong labor market over time can be really visible and
This is the most
important in these communities
backhanded,
as well. So as we
racist
pursue
thing
our
I've heard.
mandate, we keep our heads down, and it works out that is the single best thing we can do to foster, closing.
Does anybody realize what
You
was
pursue
just
your
said?
mandate, you want to make sure that it's working. Would you agree that we still need good equity data to continue to narrow and close those gaps by race and gender?
I do think, we're always going to be in favor of good data at the Fed, and we do have quite a bit of that data on our website.
But if we don't have equity data, it'd be difficult to know, right?
Yes.
I'm glad to hear you still believe in the value of good equity data for economic policy making. It's better to fly with the data than to fly blind. I'm not sure what's so controversial about the data. And while I was disappointed to hear that the Federal Reserve, which is independent from the White House, it scrubbed a diversity and inclusion section from its website after President Trump's executive order, while also scrubbing data on the racial, ethnic, and gender makeup of its economists and researchers, I hope you will continue to ensure that the public has good data on how our economy is working or not working for historically marginalized Americans. I also hope you will reconsider your decisions around the whitewashing of the Fed's website. Chair Powell, as we think about the value of protecting data on the Black-white wealth gap or employment gap, I think it's important to understand what policymakers can learn from this data. Historically, from what you've seen in the data, historically, what types of economic events have caused the Black-white wealth gap or employment gap to widen?
Well, high inflation, downturns, you see generally just take the Black unemployment rate, it generally moves at twice the speed of the white unemployment rate. So when it goes up faster, and when it comes down faster. But there is, at the end of the day, there's always been a gap, and we want to run a strong labor market, and we target overall labor market conditions for maximum employment. But one of the benefits of that is that gap comes down.
Thank you so much. We all know that fully deregulating our financial regulators like the CFPB, firing bank examiners at the FDIC, or weakening the Fed's supervisory capacity makes an economic shock or recession.
I'm going to stop really quick, okay, guys? If you guys don't know what's happening right here, this is the Fed Chair, Jerome Powell. He's giving testimony here on the Hill. And this has been the biggest clusterfuck of my morning in a long time. I paused it. It's fine. You guys can watch it live if you're doing it live right now. And I'm going to play some of this shit back. This is earth-shattering. And I'll tell you why. Because don't be bored for a second. I'm going to wake your ass up. It's going to be fine. And I'll highlight and I'll narrate and I'll tell you what's happening. These guys know they're on TV, and they are using this moment to grandstand against this administration. Oh my God, it is terrible. It's laughable. But you know what? My power went out last night, so look at my power. Now we go. There we go. Everything's on. Computer had to reset. Oh, it was a long. But can you believe this shit? Watch it, guys. I know you guys want to watch it live. I really don't care. Well, look at it. I gotta let you hear this crap. I don't care about the chairman talking. This Pocahontas right here. This is great. Here you go.
On a healthy economy. Ranking Member Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chair Powell, it is no secret that you and I disagree on the need for strong bank regulation, on monetary policy, and on the Fed's stock trading scandals. We have sharp differences, but I believe you are a principled public servant who cares about this country. We are at an unprecedented moment. Our financial systems are facing huge risks from the economic chaos of President Trump and his co-president, Elon Musk. From on-again, off-again tariffs to on-again, off-again layoffs for tens of thousands of government workers, to on-again, off-again cuts in domestic grain purchases, to on-again, off-again support for medical research. Now, co-president Musk and his OMB director have frozen all work at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
So the CFPB, okay? And maybe there's a lot of waste there. They're the oversight for the big banks, just so that people are aware. This whole hearing here by Ms. Wharton here, she literally is trying to put fear and cast doubt on what Trump and Elon Musk are uncovering and doing. And these guys are up in arms, okay? All of them, the whole Congress. They can't get it right. But look, I'm going to show you guys something. Let them talk. She talks about a bunch of nothing. It's okay. Next guy, no, don't care about him either. I'll find out the one that I want. Oh, let's see what this guy has to say. I'm curious. Is this the guy I like? No, Mr. Rounds I didn't care.
As we continue to prioritize the stability and the resilience of our financial system, the ongoing Basel III rulemaking process has remained front and center in shaping our regulatory framework. Now, I guess I was rather outspoken with my opposition to the original proposal, and further work was stalled at the end of the last year. I guess my question for you today, sir, is could you provide an update on the Federal Reserve's progress in
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we know.
Thank you. Senator Ricketts.
Here's Ricketts. I like Ricketts. Watch
Thank
this.
you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member, for holding this important hearing, and thank you, Chairman Powell, for being here
cut
today
out
to
Senator
talk about
Ricketts?
our economy and all.
Mortgage rates, the fact.
Are you
that they're
serious?
sovereign. And we've been looking at these transactions on an ongoing basis.
Well, I commend you for that. In fact, what happens typically
Oh,
is
my God!
the transaction becomes complicated by synthetic risk transfers, as it was the case.
Look at
with
this!
Synthetic derivatives. So thank you for your attention to that. We've talked about housing. It's absolutely critical everywhere across the country. We're in a house.
Guys, I'm blown away right now. Senator Ricketts is a female, and she's from Alabama. She's not here. She just talked, and they cut it out. Oh, my God, Wall Street Journal, you pieces of shit. Oh, I got to find that. Hold on.
I imagine it does hold down mortgage rates.
There's no
The fact that
way.
they're sovereign risk.
And how important is the...
You.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Senator Ricketts.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member, for holding this important hearing, and
Oh, no.
thank you,
Okay.
Chairman Powell, for being here today to talk about
Oh, no, I'm
our
okay.
economy and all
Oh,
the
no,
things that
I'm
are
going
on.
crazy.
I want to address again
I'm
something
going crazy.
that the
I'm so
Ranking
sorry.
Member started talking off about, which was characterizing the
Hold on.
CFPB
Let me
as
see if
being
I
the
can find
top
it.
on the beat here. But I can tell you, as having been a governor and having a
Where the
Department
hell?
of Banking that
Oh,
reported to
okay.
me,
There it
that
is.
if any consumer would
And
Okay,
obviously
I was-
There's been a lot of conversation both.
I was tripping, guys. I was
you're gonna have
tripping
no
because I
view
saw
at
the wrong
all.
sign.
I'm
My
not gonna
fault.
comment on things that the president says.
I got Senator Ricketts confused. I'm sorry. Oh,
I would like to
Sorry.
see us at some point get a stronger answer on that, because I think that in light of the president's willingness to shut down agencies willy-nilly, his ability to potentially curtail payment of debt, I think would have devastating consequences on our economy.
They just keep trying to get him to say something about Trump, and they keep putting it out there, and all they're talking about is climate control. Oh, God, it's gross. And then watch it. I love this part. This is like my favorite part of the whole morning, right? This right here got me up in my house.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Britt.
Britt,
Thank you,
that's
Mr.
what I'm talking about.
Chairman. Obviously, there's been a lot of conversation both in and out of this hearing room today. Conversations about a co-president referencing Elon Musk, referencing the work that DOGE is doing. I think it's important to remember that President Trump ran on this. I mean, he said, we're going to look for wasteful spending across our government. We're $36 trillion in debt, y'all. That's not only fiscally irresponsible, it is actually morally irresponsible. And the difference in this administration and the last administration is that President Trump is actually the final arbiter. And it's interesting that none of you had anything to say over the last 4 years when it is clear that our commander-in-chief was not in command. And if we're going to use the term co-president, then let's go back and say co-president Jake Sullivan, co-president Ron Klain, co-president Jill Biden. I mean, it seems that some of the biggest decisions were made during the president's afternoon nap time. And so I just think we need to be a little bit more honest about what's been laid out and what's actually occurring. Chair Powell, I want to discuss some monetary policy issues, but I first want to highlight a few supervisory items. We unfortunately started 2023 with
That we're still required to make those payments to do so.
Hey, check out this
Appreciate it.
piece
Thank
of
you.
crap right here. Check out this guy. This guy's a
Hall.
piece of work, man. This
Thank
guy's
you,
going to attack
Mr.
Trump the
Chairman.
whole time. Watch
I
this.
would point out that candidate Trump did not run on implementing Project 2025. In fact, when he was asked on the campaign trail about Project 2025, he said, I don't know anything about that. Who are those people? And yet he early on and quickly installed a key architect of Project 2025, Russ Vought, as the head of the Office of Management and Budget, which we know is the command and control center for the budget overseeing all federal agencies. And that's what Elon Musk is doing now. He's implementing Project 2025, the same Project 2025 that candidate Trump said he knew nothing about. And he said that because he knew it was unpopular. He knew it would be unpopular to take the financial cop off the beat. And I want to start by talking about what's happening over at CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, because that is the cop on the beat to go after fraudsters and scammers who cheat Americans out of their hard-earned money. And they have returned billions of dollars to our constituents, to the consumers who have been victims of these scams. And in doing so, they've earned some powerful enemies who want to shut them down. And Elon Musk is doing that dirty work on behalf of those fraudsters. And there's something especially twisted about the richest man in the world shutting down an agency that helps victims of scammers and fraudsters recover just a little bit of their hard-earned money. And I find it especially interesting that the new self-declared head of the CFPB, Russell Vought, told employees not to come into the office and essentially to stop work. Here's what he wrote, and I'm quoting, "Employees should not come into the office," unquote, and stand down from performing any work task.
Look at this piece of shit.
So this is an interesting situation. Federal employees continue to get paid, but the Trump administration tells them to stop doing
What does this have to
their
do with
work.
Jerome Powell?
That apparently is what the Trump administration
Watch
thinks
this.
is a
Look
good
at how he
deal
turns it.
for the American taxpayer.
Mr.
To pay
Mr. Powell.
employees to not to do their job. So, Mr. Chairman, I have a simple question for you. Is that a practice that you pursue at the Fed, to pay your employees but tell them not to come to work? Have you done that?
No.
That wouldn't be very efficient, would it?
No.
No, it wouldn't. And yet, that's what the so-called DOGE boys, efficiency boys, are doing. In addition to that, they're rummaging through the private, very personal, sensitive information of Americans at the Department of Treasury. So it seems to me that the Trump administration and Elon Musk are focused on everything except what Donald Trump said he was going to focus on during the campaign, which was to bring prices down. And when you look at the price of eggs these days, I noticed that Waffle House just instituted a new 50-cent per egg surcharge due to the nationwide rise in the cost of eggs. They said that's going to be a new surcharge, and other restaurants are following suit. You've seen that, right, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yeah. And at the same time, the Trump administration has restricted federal agencies from providing the public with information about the bird flu, avian flu, which is part of the cost of egg increases. So what we're really facing here is an administration that campaigned on bringing down prices and is not doing that, did not campaign on Project 2025, and that's what they're doing. But when it comes to prices, Mr. Chairman, the president's also talking about significant increases in tariffs. Our Republican colleagues are also talking about passing a tax bill that gives way disproportionately to the super wealthy, and which will add trillions to the deficit by their own account. They're talking about playing around with the baseline. So my question to you is simple. All things being equal, do big increases in tariffs and increasing the deficit and debt put upward pressure on inflation? Isn't that simple math?
You know, it really does remain to be seen what tariff policies will be implemented, and I just think it would be unwise to speculate when we really don't know. I mean, we see proposals, but it's so hard to say what's going to happen. And
Well, last time the Trump administration was in office, the Fed took actions because they were concerned about the impact of increasing tariffs. Isn't that the case?
we wound up cutting rates in 2000 and I guess it was 19, but it really was because growth slowed and confidence was weak and the global economy was weakening. So the net effect of all that's what we look at. And it's really not just tariffs, it's tariffs, immigration, fiscal policy, and regulatory policy. And those will all go into a mix, and we'll try to make sense of it and do what's right for monetary policy.
Well, if you could just get back to me, I'm not on the question of increasing the deficit by trillions of dollars and what impact you believe that has on inflation and prices. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Senator Lummis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks.
It's just grandstanding, guys. It's just grandstanding. I mean, at this point, I could watch this whole damn thing and we could just sit here, but nah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your time. And these guys just unbelievable. Would it do this? Would it do like if we didn't just live in the last 4 years where the deficit was, expanded more than it's ever been. It grew at a faster rate than ever has. But a president that never goes in front of the TV, never talks to you, never signs a bill, never signs an EO, just everything. Like I've never dealt with a more lame duck session than we had for these last 4 years. So anyway, hi guys, good morning. It's sick. It makes me sick that they put people on TV and they just do the politician shit. So I can't. And then for all of you out there that have voted in Chuck Schumer or Warden or this guy or Elizabeth Warren, and then this guy who I don't even know, I don't care. Right? They're not my representatives to that point. But if you voted them in, yeah, I just had the last guy tell me it's all climate control. Climate control? Yep, because of floods and fires and acts of God. That's what it like. There hasn't been hurricanes my whole life. There hasn't been tornadoes, sandstorms, everything. I mean, these are the same guys who took environmental, I guess, expertise from a 13-year-old girl. I'm being straight up with you. They made up whole energy plans and monetary policy based off of a 13-year-old's activism. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's all right. Greta Thunberg, whatever her damn name is. I'm just looking at you crazy. I was told the world's going to end in 2012, 2013. AOC told me we're going to be walking underwater by this time. Now it's just like 7 years ago. So I don't know. I don't know what world I live in. I just live in the one where the earth is resilient. People are too. And you have to have belief. You have to have belief in God, in yourself. And if you don't, well, then this isn't the country for you. But to think that drumming up some bill, I've always said this, and I don't agree to this at all, what the government does. They come out and they try to change policies for growth, for innovation, and they try to tax you on it with the fear of you're going to destroy something. The problem that people have is that the 100 million voting, 150 million voters in America, you're not the world. Okay, so when you guys vote on something and you say, we're going to change this, we're going to hug more trees. Okay, and there's rainforests still getting cut down in Brazil that are twice the size of Texas. There's still 1.2 billion people in India polluting the earth. There's still 1.1 billion people in China, doing something in the exact opposite of what you're voting for. So before you guys try to hug trees and save water and recycle, like you guys all think, like we make the difference, America, you're completely wrong. We are the smallest damn thing. We're tiny. We're 300 million people. And yet we're sitting here pounding our chests as if we're going to save the planet Earth. I'm sorry. I've been here for a long time. And guess what? I'm still here. But let's change the way you live and the way you consume and the way you plan on doing it. And then someone's going to tell you, oh, yeah, but in 2020, by 2022, by 2250, in the next 150 years, I'm like, what? You don't know technology from now and then. If you would have told people 150 years ago, the world's going to end because we have all these railroads and coal and energy. And yeah, you know what? Maybe it would be black smut and smog and fog everywhere. Maybe when they invented cars and you just, look at this thick smog, I can eat it. Look at the emissions report. Maybe. Just like they tell you, EV vehicles saving so much. Yeah, what are you doing with those batteries? I can come up with a lot of different things. What about all these tires? Tires don't decompress. We can't burn them. What are you going to do with tires? We can do it with anything. Excess of everything. But now we got to go out here and act like we're freedom fighters? All of you? Psh. These are the same dudes that fly privately. You guys want to fix the government? You guys want to fix it? Cool. Do Zoom. Hi. Senators, House of Representatives, there's over 500 employees in government that have to travel to go meet in an office in D.C. They're taking private jets. They're doing chauffeur drivers. They're spending money traveling when all they have to do is stay home, stay in their districts, and Zoom. Here, let's just do a vote. We want to do a vote? Yeah, make the phone call. Make sure you're on this phone call, too, when we do it. But every time we got to get down here and sit in front of a chair, and mind you, these chairs have to be the most expensive, fluffiest, padded chairs ever. We got to look a certain way. We got to have cameras rolling. There's just so much that goes into the optics of what this government is. When you go to like these businesses in New York and you go to their little conference room, they've got the big table. It's bigger than anything you've ever seen in your life. They got the view over the Hudson, the Central Park view. And all of this is just optics. It's all just to show you know what? We are the power. We have the money. Well, you can save it. Keep it all. I don't need it. I'm in front of you guys in a t-shirt and a hat, and you would not take me so serious compared to the guys dressed in suits and telling you about economic policies. Right? Well, they're severely uninformed. They're uninformed because they're blinded by their hate for a president, an administration that's trying to fix and clean up all their indiscretions. I don't care. I don't care how you guys feel about me. Go look at the numbers. I don't even want to pay taxes this year. I feel guilty in paying taxes because I'm paying taxes to shit that I've never agreed upon. Like, I don't understand who in America that is a red, white, and blue American, as in, like, these guys claim they are, why they would want to send billions of dollars abroad for whatever program bullshit that they come up with. This case study, this for shit that I don't even understand it. I don't want to speak on it directly. I'm just telling you, go read it. Read about the money we send to other countries and the reasons why. No. They're starving people in Africa. That's what they told me when I was growing up. They're starving kids in Africa. Eat your food. No, they're starving kids in America. There are United States military veterans that are denied benefits, period. You have to live within a VA hospital driving range. Like, you have to go so often. Like, there's guys out here who are living in the streets. And when I see them, I throw them a bone. I do the best I can. But this government's sending money to Ukraine. They're sending money to, well, I guess, Israel. Sending money abroad. I'm talking about all the damn countries. And they don't have money here? For North Carolina? For New Orleans? For California? They don't have money for Louisiana? They don't have money for Florida? These guys were talking about eggs. No, I already had talked about on eggs the minute it got announced, right? They're like, well, this isn't a Waffle House. Putting 50%, cent, whatever. And then the report came out that the Biden administration had ordered 4 states. It was like Nebraska, Oklahoma, all the Midwest, wherever there's a farm, chicken farms. And they ordered the killing of 500,000 chickens. And it was for the fear of a fake flu that doesn't exist, the avian flu. And people were saying, well, they ordered all this. And I don't even care, okay? Hey, there's an egg shortage. Oh, look at the expensive price on eggs. I deal with it daily, okay? I don't care. Here's my point, though, about it all. You go to a restaurant and they're charging you more for eggs, then don't fucking go. Shocker. It's like, these are first world problems. The same person that comes up to me and says, excuse me, do you have any hard-boiled eggs? Excuse me? Yeah, I got them right there. They're called eggs. Now go boil them. You don't want to pay Waffle House 50 extra cents? Then don't. Go home and make it yourself. These are choices. You entitled pieces of shit. Are you kidding, government employees? That guy didn't look like he missed a meal. So, I just want to get this correct. You have the ability to buy whatever you want, and or we have the choice. You have a refrigerator, right? At home. The refrigerator holds items and it keeps them fresh. Oh, you should be so lucky. You can go to a store, a grocery store, walk in, they have quantities on hand, and you can buy things that you didn't make yourself. It's on a shelf. It's stocked away. That shelf is 6 inches off the floor no matter what, so that rodents don't get to it. There's environmental health standards that everyone's compliant with. These stores have refrigeration. They have employees. They have shopping baskets. For you guys out there in Canada, they call them buggies. You make me sick on buggies. But I'm just trying to map this out. Those baskets have wheels that roll smoothly on a floor that's polished by an employee up all night polishing the floors, picked up. There's trash removal from same said facility. I'm trying to figure out what you're mad about. Oh, inflation. The markets aren't fair. We're complaining, like I do, about Jack in the Box tacos, right? Jack in the Box tacos. I was mad that they went up 100%. Yeah, it's bullshit. Still, to this day, $2. No, but it's not that I'm mad. I still buy them. I'm just pointing out the obvious. That people can drive through in their car filled with petrol. And they get to drive through and get a warm meal delivered on their lap while they consume it. Unheard of. You want to know why people live so long? You want to know why there's so many people, an abundance of people? Because these are the luxuries in life. I challenge any of these congressmen to go live in a third world country. Just go live in one. Hell, go visit one. You won't know what to do. They'll shit their pants because they drink the water without fluoride, without chlorine. They'll shit their pants because their stomach can't handle the food coming in, the food without preservatives, the food that might not have all the flavor, as they call it, and all the cancer, as most people call it. This Congress is gross. They're sick. They're out here crying wolf, if you ask me. And Trump, well, it's his second go around. The first one, it didn't go so bad, did it? I mean, other than him being cheated out of an election. So what did you think was going to happen on his second tour? You tried to put him in prison. You tried to murder him. You tried to defame him. You tried to ruin everything and everyone around him. And you thought he was just going to go to work? Ah, babe. Welcome to it. Welcome to it. Me, personally? It was 100 million? My bad. I don't know how many chickens they killed. Yeah, it's okay. I'm still eating eggs. Because I'm privileged. And I'm not denying it. We're all privileged. We're sitting here on the internet watching me talk. That's a privilege. There's dudes out there that that don't have central heating and air. Tonko native. How y'all doing? Welcome back, guys. How is it? How was it today? I'm gonna let it all go. I'm gonna be okay. Oh man, ramen eggs are the best. Yes. Okay. Well, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Marantz Rantz. Welcome back. Look at this shit. I gotta wipe the sleep out of my eyes. Oh man. I think I'm gonna go volunteer. There's a thing I gotta volunteer today to the public, unpaid volunteer. This thing going on at 11:30 today, so in 2.5 hours. I think I'm gonna do it. I've been asking myself. I try to give back to the community as much as I can, and my wife knows that. My wife's always like, "Baby, what you doing?" Like, "Hey, Mom, they need help over here." Like, I'm the type of dude that shows up with my truck, and I'm like, "Yeah, you need help moving? I got you." I don't care. I just do it. And I started that because back in the day, I used to work for, who cares who I used to work for on this one, but I used to work in Georgia. I was working with some guy, and he was a cool-ass dude. Name was Eric. And there's always been an Eric and a Wayne. A dude named Wayne has always been around in my life, an old man named Wayne, and a guy named Eric. So this guy named Eric was cool. And it was Christmas Eve, and we were getting off of work, and he didn't have a way to get home to Florida, and we were in Georgia. And he said, "Hey man, I want to get home, I want to see my mom." I was like, "Cool, bro, let's just go right now." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "It's gonna take 4 hours." I said, "So we'll drive down there, I'll drop you off, and I'll come back." And I go, "You got a ride back?" He's like, "I can get a ride back." I was like, oh, "Okay, cool." So I drove him all the way down right after work. I got there like at 10:30, 11, dropped him off on Christmas Eve, dropped him off, drove all the way back. My wife's calling. I was like, "Hey, I'm on my way." And It took me like 8 hours, 9 hours. The full turnaround trip. I was dead. Oh, I was dying. I was sleep driving, all that shit. And the reason why I did it, one, I wanted to make sure his family had a great Christmas and all that good stuff. But I just did it because I felt like if I could help in this moment, it doesn't cost me anything. It just costs me sleep. That's it. That's the way my mentality works. So, anytime someone needs help, it's always been that way for me. Always been that way for me. Like, I'm just like, oh, we can do that. Like, what's the problem with that? So my son, he's in high school, and his friends, his buddies, he's got some friends that are just not as fortunate, and they waiting for parents for rides, or they're posted up and they don't know how they're going to get home. And I'm just like, to myself, I'm saying, who cares? Like, it doesn't cost you anything to go out of your way. It might cost you gas money. It might cost you a little bit more time, but it doesn't cost you anything. Your sanity is there. I'm not worried about this kid. And is he getting home on time? Is he sitting around the streets? What if he gets in trouble? Now, then you're thinking like kids get in trouble when they got shit to do. And I'm just like, you know what? So I pull up to the school and I go, "Hey, Pop, you buddy need a ride?" He's like, "I don't know." I said, "Well, ask him. He's just sitting there. He's all lonely, you know." And guess what? It takes me an extra 10 minutes out of my way, but it doesn't matter because the kid gets home and he's happy to be home. And I bet he's just happy to walk in and go to the bathroom and lay down or do some homework or watch TV or play a video game. It's a comfort feeling. It's not very comforting when you're sitting there worried about how you're going to get your next meal or your next ride or your next point A, point B. So it doesn't cost me anything to do that. And I've always been this way. And so my wife is like, "Hey, babe, what are you going to?" I was like, "Man, I'm just going to go. I'll just do it." You know what, guys? I'll tell you something I did for by the way, I have Valentine's Day all figured out right now for my wife. I'm off on Thursday, the day before. I'm going to kill it, guys. I'm telling you, I'm doing something that's it's so great for my wife. I know it is. And because I've really thought this through. Like one of those things where they go, be more thoughtful, more mindful. I thought it through, and I go, oh, I know what I could do. Now, she might not like it like that, but I'm going to love it. I'm going to love doing it. But anyway, I remember this one time, guys, during COVID. This really happened during COVID. My wife and I were sitting here. We're in Riverside County, where we live, Riverside County, California. And our county was under a mask mandate right when it started. And we're like, mask mandate? We got to wear masks. Shit, okay. But San Diego County didn't have a mask mandate. And we're like, all right. My wife didn't know that San Diego didn't have a mask mandate. I didn't say anything. I'm just sitting there, and I go, "Hey, baby, you want to get some lunch?" She was like, "Yeah, let's go get some lunch." She jumped in my truck, and I go, "Hey, we're going to go have lunch." And I drove all the way to San Diego. And they had no mask. She couldn't, but as we're going, she's just like, "Where are we going?" I was like, "We're going to go to San Diego." She's like, "For lunch?" I was like, "Yeah, let's just go." So it was 11 o'clock at that time. We got there at 1. It took us 2 hours. Went through the mountains. Went through Julian, California. Beautiful mountain scenery. Everything was great. You got to San Diego. It was fresh air. It was amazing. It felt so good. We were like an outdoor mall shopping. We ate. We ate on the beach, actually. We actually ate on the beach. We went to this nice restaurant. My wife was, and then we walked the beach. We walked the whole thing, and we were talking and hanging out. And I was like, "See, baby, this is our lunch. Let's get in the truck. We're going to go home now." And she was like, "That didn't take long at all. Like, that wasn't hard to do." I'm like, "It's never hard to do, babe. Just go do it. That's it. We just got to go do it." And we got home. And we probably got home like at 6, 7, somewhere in that range. But that was a good afternoon for us just to get up and go. And that's what I've been trying to do with Grand Canyon people. But no, these people tell me it's 6 hours away. And, you got to turn around. That's going to be a 12-hour drive and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I'm going to do it. We're going to work that out. But anyway, yeah, just get up and do stuff, guys. Get up and do it. I don't care how far it takes, how far it is. You only have this life. You only have this one opportunity. So no excuses. Go do something. You don't have to worry about the stock. It's not going anywhere. You don't have to worry about anything that people hounding you or you have these other commitments. Guess what? They'll still be there. They'll still be there. Now, listen, I don't miss work. I just do it on my days off. I still go to work. So I'm just telling you guys. All right. Hey, I'm hanging out with you guys today. I'm not doing much. I know that we had a whole mission yesterday fighting with these fools that are just idiots when it comes to investing. But you know what? I got to do it. I'm so sorry. Miss Piggy, hi. Your son, Jackie, the one that you raised to be a real piece of shit. Yeah, he's just out here taking money from people and giving them information as in to hedge their positions and do it. And I'd rather him just, buy more murals of you. That's what I'd rather do. Go to GameStop and buy more pigs. If you guys buy more pigs, more Jackie. If Jackie did it, if you buy his mother in a box, it'd be okay. How you doing, Jackie's mom? Yeah. So I'm so sorry, Jackie, that you're out here telling people that GameStop was going to go down to $23. But it's at $27 and some change today, and I'm loving life. Is it not on the screen? Look at this crap. I got to fight with Weeble. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, here's Bitcoin. Don't worry, GameStop has enough cash to buy 48,000 Bitcoin right now. 48,000 Bitcoin. Hey, Marantz, when you drew these lines, how'd you know? I don't know. It's later. I'll install that later. So this is GameStop, guys. We're going to go over the chart in a minute. The charts that never fail. These damn Doritos. So we'll go to the monthly first. Okay. Now, shocker, GameStop's riding right in the middle where it's supposed to be. No up or down. Okay. This is still within the triangle that we had from the previous high and the lows and just running through. Next month, GameStop has earnings report coming out. And the earnings report is going to be very, very telling. It's going to be massive. And I have predicted that GameStop's going to come out with a 1,800% increase on actual profit. I think GameStop's going to have a current ratio that gets increased because of the assets versus liabilities. I think GameStop is a clean sheet. I think they won't have a cash burn. I think they won't have any type of losses. I think they're going to be all gains. Maybe top line revenue comes down. Maybe. It's a maybe right now. I know people are projecting that it comes down because they close so many stores. But you just don't know. You just don't know what they're pacing at. This is GameStop, and GameStop is in the biggest 4-year wedge that it's ever been in. We're extremely excited about this. You'll see the only time I ever want to hear about fractals, where there's very similar moves, is the fact that GameStop ran up and ran down, ran up and ran down. But as it keeps running up and running down, you got to remember that GameStop is diluting their float at the same time and creating a huge nest egg of cash. That cash happens to be $4.6 billion at the moment, and a lot of people are speculating that GameStop could back their treasury with Bitcoin because Ryan Cohen took a picture of Michael Saylor. And then I don't know. I don't know if that they're going to do that. I wouldn't do it, me personally. The volatility is one thing, and then you're hedged to it and you're tied to it. But if you did do it, just so that we're clear, if you did do this and you announced that you bought Bitcoin and you're now backed by Bitcoin, your cash is, you'd see an increase in Bitcoin, you'd see an increase in GameStop. And if GameStop were to increase and offer more shares, then they would in turn take that money and buy more Bitcoin. It's called the money glitch. And they have this opportunity to do it that way. But until then, I don't really want to do business that way. That's just not me. Because I told you, I'd rather GameStop do the legacy business and make those incremental changes into what they have done. They're the most efficient, scalable machine they've ever done. And the efficiency is there. The hard work is that it takes to do it is there. I mean, I know Ryan's working his heart out, but I'm excited. Certainly GameStop at $27.25, from where it was just a couple of days ago at $25. So $3 increase, over 10% increase on GameStop, and it was phenomenal. Right here it says, are you going to do another earnings video, forecast video? I will. I did it already, but I'll do it again, like in more detail. Rick James, thank you so much for being a member of the channel for 33 months. My God. And thank you for the support of the channel. I saw somebody send out a tariff, and thank you. I charged the chat tariffs, not tariffs that you have to pay, though, so it's okay. You have a choice. And, there's a couple of other things that people are looking at on these markets. So, I'll give you this example, okay? Let's go look at a company like Meta. Meta Platforms is sitting at $1.81 trillion in market cap. Meta has hit 725. I think today's going to be the first red day on Meta in a while. They have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks of gains. I believe that's the record for them. 7 green weeks. And I'm looking, I just want to make sure there's, oh, look at this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that was back in 2020. So they had 8 weeks of gains at one point. Day-wise, this is the biggest run any company this size has had for a long time. So they were running on the daily charts, have been running for weeks. On the hour chart, they were still doing great up until about yesterday when they started having a drop. But Meta's hard to beat, right? But a company like Meta is pumping up their price, and people are pumping it up. People are pushing. But this is going to come down. This is going to come down because a lot of companies, this time frame of every year, they're doing some soul searching. Okay, if you guys are not familiar, traditionally in retail or traditionally in corporate America, the companies, after they annualize on their budgets, they have this what they call recruitment investment. So there's this portion of the budget for recruitment, and investing in advertising and recruitment costs dollars, and you actually start cutting out pieces. I would anticipate Meta doing mass layoffs coming up. Most mass layoffs in corporations get announced February, March timeframe. It's still within that first quarter. It's like you're revamping your book, but with all the CapEx going out from Microsoft and Meta and a couple of the other big ones like Oracle and Dell, I would anticipate them cutting out their workforce. And the reason you cut out your workforce and the reason you make these mass layoffs, one is because you're these hyper growers, right? You're these hyperscalers. And these companies, they do something like, oh man, it hits my head. Okay, so listen. If you are in these tech companies and you're looking at, high valuations, like growth, the only way that Wall Street gets to bring in a growth metric is by using TAM, okay, the total addressable market cap. So a lot of people, when they look at companies, they say, okay, what's their TAM? Like what market are they in? What industry are they in? And can they continue to grow? That's why when you look at things like, I remember I used to talk about this because of movie theaters. And I'd be like, oh no, there's no growth there because this is a dying industry. Over the last 20 years, foot traffic has dropped 80%. Like there's real metrics there. There's real meat on the bone. So when you go to video games and you go, what's the TAM? And you're like, well, wait a minute, hold on. It's forever. It's growing because they're innovating and people are born every day and gamers are born every day, right? That's just the way it has been for the structure, the way it's set up. Whether it's physical versus digital doesn't matter. I want people to know that when they say, well, it's all digital. Great, okay. And like that doesn't change from the core value of what it can be. I give you this example why I say that. Because as much digital as you want to play digital, right? Good. Where are you buying the controllers? Where are you buying the headphones? Where do you buy the actual video games? Oh, I know it can be only digital, but there are other portions and other things that you have to buy to be able to operate that digital game. That's why GameStop's not going anywhere. Even for this much amount of the digital footprint, how much percentage do they get of the actual physical footprint? Well, everyone's giving up on physical except for GameStop. And then you see the PSA graded cards. What's that TAM? So when you're thinking about growth and you're thinking about investing, a lot of these guys coming with topside caps already maxed out. We go, well, wait a minute, this is the total addressable market cap for AI. And you go, well, hold on. How many AI companies are there and how many apples can we eat at that point? Because you have companies that are trillions of dollars in market cap. And they're only worth trillions of dollars in market cap because of the amount of money they've spent. And they have spent borrowed dollars, not cash. These guys are hard up on cash. They don't have the cash you think they do. And or people have grown accustomed to not knowing what cash is worth and how much cash really factors in. Like, Mike, watch. I'm going to show you guys something. I'll show it to you. Let's go here. Okay. We'll talk about a company like Home Depot. Home Depot is ranked in the top 3 retail stores in the world. Okay. And Home Depot has a market cap of $400 billion. Okay. A $400 billion market cap company, meaning they have all the assets in the world. When you go look at their financials and you're looking at the we can even look at quarterly, they're bringing in revenue of $40 billion for the quarter. Home Depot's down $3 billion quarter to quarter. But the stock price keeps going up. Their top line is down quarter to quarter. Now, with all these immigration raids and everything else, a lot of people think, well, maybe Home Depot won't do so much business domestically. But I want you to look at their profit, operating expense, you name it, operating income. They make $5 billion this quarter. They were down $1 billion in profit from quarter 2 to quarter 3. A lot of that you can tell me about hurricanes, you can tell me about rebuilding, you can tell me it's seasonal, during the summertime we do more. A lot of things you can tell me. I don't care about that. I care about this balance sheet. When you look at the balance sheet for Home Depot, I want you to look at their cash. This is a huge company, massive company. It's been around for 40, 50 years, and they have $1.5 billion cash. That's the cash they have. That's enough cash to survive. That's enough cash to survive their dividend. They pay a dividend of 2% off of their 400 price point, right? So you would look at, and I'm just ballparking. I think it'll even be down here on expenses. Additional paid in capital, like they're paying out money. They have retained earnings. Common stock. I mean, look at this. Treasury stock, common $95 billion less. So these guys have shareholder equity of $5.79 billion. Assets versus liabilities, they're walking in 5.79. And I want to see if it's here. They have how many shares? Just curious. Their free float, 900, almost 1 billion shares. And they're paying 2% on that $4, so they're paying $8. So $2 a share, $2 a quarter actually on their shares. No, $2. They're paying $2 a share, and your shares are 400. So I have an issue when all your cash is being paid out at $2.5 billion a year. So if you're paying $2 billion a year on dividends, and you only have $1.5 billion cash left over, that's all you have is $1.5 billion. That's a lot of money to some people. $1.5 billion, they've probably been walking around for years with those financials. If I go to the annual here, we'll look at the cash. They're sitting on $3.7 billion cash for the year in 2024. So as you go over all the way to 2026, 2.7, 7 billion, 2 billion, 2 billion, 1.78 billion, 3.6 billion, 2.4 billion, 2.2 billion. They've always had 2 billion. The biggest company in the world, one of the biggest retail companies in the world with a market cap of $400 billion. They've been around in business for 20, 30, 40 years at these levels. And they've always had around $2 billion. They carry a big stick. That's their leverage, $2 billion. GameStop has $4.5 billion. The amount of money that GameStop's holding right now, cash, is so massive compared to the rest of the business they do, compared to their peers, their equivalents. Let's go to Best Buy. Best Buy always being recognized, being a great company. They pay a massive dividend. They pay 4% dividend on their stock a year. They have a float of almost 200 million shares around there. And their price is $87. Total revenue, $43 billion. And they have profit, operating income of 1.6 $1.8, $3 billion a year, okay? Quarterly, they're coming in and you're looking at Best Buy and they have cash, $600 million. $600 million. They burned off half their cash last quarter. These are massive companies. The company with a market cap of $18 billion. $600 million. Guys, GameStop now $4.5 billion. Compared to the cost of business, what it actually costs to do the business, that money is an infinite money glitch. There is no way that it's going to fall off, that it's not going to do well, that it's not going to be profitable. The amount of money that they have in the whole, put away, they're making $200 million profit off that money a year. And that's going to go up even higher. Let's just say GameStop keeps their nest egg for 10 years. 10 years, and they never touch a dollar of the $5 billion they have saved up. After 10 years, you're going to be sitting on $8 billion, $7 billion. You're going to be making a profit. It's going to generate interest, and you're still going to be gaining. You're going to have, after 10 years, you'll have an additional $2 billion. Maybe they do an offering. Maybe they get another $1 billion. It won't matter, $8 billion. And everybody's going to be like, well, what are you doing with it? What does it matter? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything with that cash until it's time. Until it's time to find the right buy, the right partnership, the right expansion, like they did with PSA. You have this idea, and you can solve a problem. But what happens when GameStop starts buying back shares with that excess cash? They start paying out dividends with it. Your value goes up. Your value as a shareholder. And right now, the value of the company is $12.3 billion. And that's just doing nothing. There hasn't been an announcement. There's been no move. Nothing. This could be everything. This could be you could be locked in if you know what it is. And if you don't know, well, just know that, your boy's broke this week because I'm doing Valentine's Day. I'm not going to be able to buy any more shares the rest of this week. It's okay. I'll wait till next week. I get paid on Wednesday next week. I got to go 8 days with no pay. 8 days. So these next 8 days, I'm budgeting, I'm rationing, I'm doing my part. But, gas got to be put in the tank. I still got to get to work. Still got to put food in my belly. Still got to, hook up the kids and do what I can. But, yeah, stay active on it, guys. Stay active. GameStop looks healthy. Looks great. We're going to talk more about other things. The reason why I got all the way here is because I think these tech companies and these companies that are using TAM as an investment strategy, or even hedge funds. Hedge funds decide how they're going to invest, and they go, what's their TAM? What's their growth? No. That's not the way it works. You want to look at a company like GameStop. That's what you want to do. Companies that are not respected, companies that are neglected, and it's okay. Look at this recovery right now, by the way. This is the minute chart on GameStop pushing up, straight V recovery, meaning you pushed it down, you found resistance down here at $27, and you bounced right up out of it to $27.50. GameStop looks healthy. It always has. I know yesterday it started running after hours, and then they held it down. We saw this run all the way up to $27.48. Boom, brought it back down, and then we're here. And you come out and you wake up in the night, and you wake up and it's $26.50. You know what? This might be the last time I see these numbers, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe that's the new bottom. Maybe we really hit this 200-day moving average like I told you we would. I didn't need to show you anything else. I showed you 200-day moving average. We can bounce off that line, and sure enough, it's exactly what happened. We used that right there, bounced off of it, got up out of the zone. We're still within this triangle. These triangles have a funny way of telling you when we explode. We're ready. We're ready. So coming up in a month from now, you might not break out right here. You might have to have a retraction on down and find some real support somewhere here, and then break out all the way through. But you're going to end up in the red over there. You're going to end up in the red. But right now, we'll just play it the way it is. But there's no doubt on God's green earth, right here, that you're going to be trading in this $50 to $2,000 window per share. That's where I'm at, because I don't see the stock going down. I don't know how it goes down. Even this downward trending channel bounced out of here. That blue line is your true level of everything. So I don't see how it comes down. This is like all geometry to a point. So my dear Watson, you guys are doing great. Okay, so we have more to talk about. Obviously, the big elephant in the room, everything that everybody wants to talk about, is going to be gold. If you guys are not familiar with gold, gold's hit 2,700 yesterday, 2,900. I apologize. Gold was coming in at 2,900, and everyone wants to talk about all-time highs. I saw an influx in gold spending and buying elsewhere, and for me personally, I don't need hedges to inflation. My only hedge is GameStop, and that's how I'm going to be. I don't care. I don't care what people tell me. It's all I'm buying, okay? We should rotate the door every 2 to 4 years, and there should be term limits. Sure. Yes, they laid off thousands yesterday. Oh, was it yesterday, Duke? Did they do that yesterday? I got to see the headline on that, if they really did. I just know that it happens because you're in that, what I used to do. I used to sell recruitment advertising. So you're within your budget timeline. But, yeah, it should be coming. Hindenburg Research called quits after they went after Carvana. Yeah, Dion, that's too much. It's too much because you're going to uncover the true demon. But maybe he just made all his money he has to make. Maybe that was it. But the true demon is private equity, and I hope people are paying attention because, man, it's scary. It's really scary. It actually looked like Travis Kelce when at the Super Bowl when they were losing. It looked like he was second-guessing his whole life. Like, you know what, Taylor, I sold my soul to the devil, and now I'm done. So, Marantz, you have to pick up the baton, bro. You're all we have. Oh, man. Thank you for that. I do the best I can. I don't have the resources that they have because I don't make money off of connect the dots, right? I do connect the dots, and I show you what it is. It's a whole series I have, and I've been making them for a long time. There's 85, 86 parts of connect the dots, and the record is undefeated, and it will be. So it sucks. Is MicroStrategy earnings today? So Super Microcomputers is supposed to be today. No, Daniel, there's no Chapter 11. There's no delisting. That's not today. So somebody needs to tell Jackie. Hi, Jackie. Maybe you don't know about this part, Jackie, but there's a company out there called Super Microcomputers, the one you say you love to invest in. Okay? Fucking joke. And yes, I told you that this company has not filed. They have not done an actual earnings report. The reporting timeline was March of 2024. They haven't filed a single 10K, 10Q in the last 9 months. And they're not going to. No, they're supposed to announce today. So I think this stock is a pump and dump at this point. I don't think it's an investment that I could tell anyone to make, ever. I don't tell people investments to make. I just tell you, hey, here's the manipulated stock. This is an absolute manipulated stock. And it's because there's so much into it. I know somebody told me that Nobody Special Finance, that guy, he had new info. Maybe I'll go check him out at some point tonight or tomorrow. But they'll postpone it to for sure. Well, yeah, well, they have to. They have no choice. They don't have an auditor. Guys, when you're in a publicly traded company, you're supposed to have an independent auditor on your books. And whether it's KPMG or it's Ernst & Young, EY, I don't care who you have. You have to have somebody reputable. They're called the Big Four. And Price, Coopers, Waters, whatever the hell they are, PwC, whatever. So you have to have the Big Four if you're going to be a publicly traded company and be respected. And Ernst & Young happens to be one of the biggest one, right? Well, Ernst & Young was hired by Supermicro Computers, and Ernst & Young quit. And they quit because of the Hindenburg research paper that came out. The Hindenburg research came out and said that Supermicro Computers was round-tripping their revenue, and they are doing business via related parties. So I called this out for a whole different reason. You know, my round-tripping and the investigation that I was doing was based off of NVIDIA. I've been calling out NVIDIA for a long time. And I said, well, NVIDIA is cheating because NVIDIA is just pumping money into CoreWeave. And CoreWeave is a privately traded company, not even traded, but is a privately owned company. And it's actually backed by private equity. And it has all the big boys in it. And they have $10 billion worth of assets. You know, they have a valuation, I think it's like 20 to 30 billion. But CoreWeave was taking money from Wall Street, all this extra cash, and they were pumping it into NVIDIA. And you were like, and I'm not talking about buying products from NVIDIA. No, I'm talking about investing money into NVIDIA. And by investing money into NVIDIA, it props up the share price. So now private equity has a hedge to their short positions, to their unbalancing their books, because it's like I've told you guys, these guys pump the Mag 7, and Mag 7 invest into each other. Because who's on the board of directors? Private equity's there to give you guidance and, hey, you guys, we should do this. Like it's just this way. It's the whole world. And once you're sitting there and you see that they've been investing and they use a private company that doesn't have to disclose everything, but this private company, CoreWeave, starts pumping money into NVIDIA. NVIDIA buys things, and they try to merge with companies like ARM Holdings in the UK, and they go ahead and give them money as well. Well, guess what? CoreWeave and NVIDIA pumped all that money back into NVIDIA, or CoreWeave and ARM pumped all that money back into NVIDIA. And NVIDIA announces these massive earnings to Wall Street, and they get crazy valuations, and here you go. The pump is on. You know, the heat is on. And as it starts going, you start asking yourself, well, where's NVIDIA, as they do mark-to-market, okay, there's a mark-to-market here, accounting practice, where NVIDIA is coming out saying, we made this much money based off of the contracts we signed and the need for these chips, you know, these H100s, A100s, and then, of course, the Blackwell chips. So all these chips that they claim that they're designing, they actually get the semiconductor chips from Taiwan, but then they go design them and program them, and then they sell them. Well, as they sell them, there's a sister company called Supermicro Computers that builds the actual chassis and the data centers for these chips that house them. And Supermicro Computers is building all these damn little gadgets to fit this NVIDIA chip. So they go hand in hand. NVIDIA has customers like Microsoft, like Dell and Oracle and Meta and Amazon and Tesla. They've got everybody but Apple. You know, all the big boys but Apple. This is why Apple's not in trouble per se. Apple just has a great business plan, but they're in the wrong industry right now. They're in America, right? They're surrounded with the Mag 7. But with all of that being said, Supermicro Computers is the little domino that could drop this whole thing. Because it's one thing just to round trip and boost your own balance sheet via CoreWeave and via ARM. That's NVIDIA, right? Then you have to read the fine print. And the fine print is that CoreWeave is one of the largest customers to, I believe it's Abelcon and CompuWare, right? The actual related parties, those companies that are related to Supermicro Computers' brother. So Supermicro Computers has one brother and a wife, and they're also on the board of directors of their brothers' companies. So it's I've drawn it up. I've shown it to you guys before, but it's not going to matter because Abelcon, is it Abelcon or Abelcon? I got to remember. Abelcom. Right? I got to think. Abelcom. That's what it is. So these companies are out here, you know, I'll show it to you right here. Is that the... Don't tell me that's the brothers right there, man. I almost had a picture of all three of them. It would be too much. It would be too much if they're actually in one photo. I don't know if they are. They've just found a way to be extremely greedy. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. So Abelcom is the company that's getting their money from CoreWeave. Okay? According to Nobody Special Finance, today's Supermicrocomputer Inc. is just presenting some fake guidance to pump the stock, not earnings. Wow. Wow. Silver Lake is helping with those companies, plus Broadcom. During 2025 team, Silver Lake and BCG, Dell versus Carl Icahn. Oh, yeah, I read about that. What are your thoughts on the SEC giving the naked short sellers a 1-year extension to report their positions? I read that yesterday, Johnny, and I don't care. No, I don't care about short selling. I don't care about people having naked shorters or anything. I don't care. That has nothing to do with what I invest and the way I invest. Have you seen? I have not. I know you've been saying it, but Daniel, I know you've been saying that for a while now. So let me go look at that company, Atos SE. You're saying it's not pretty good over there. I'll do some homework. We'll see what I come up with. But the reason why I don't run to it right away, I know there's some bad companies out there, but those companies are not being pushed to the public. You guys know that whenever I see a company that just pops up on the radar, that's when I'm like, yo, okay, now I'm looking at it. That's why I looked at Mullen Automotive. That's why I looked at Tupperware. That's why I looked at Yellow Freight, right? And Carvana and AMC and Bed Bath & Beyond. Just whatever company they're pushing out to you. That's it. Back down, pure pump and dump, sure. I'll have to look at them all. Guys. I don't have a problem. It's just, I'm always busy. And then, when I do homework, I get lost in it. Where it just takes over. You're talking about Atos? Oh, yeah, I'll check them out. I will. I promise you guys. I'll find time. So anyway, Supermicrocomputers, terrible investment to make. Pumping it and dumping it on misdirection is one thing. But it's like I told you guys, somebody told you to buy it here yesterday, and it's already down an additional 6%. For you day traders, this is the worst thing to do. Worst thing to do, because if you knew about this company, you knew where it could be headed, where it should be headed, you're buying the highs right here. It's already double tapped this top up here. So it should fall back down, depending on the news. It wouldn't even matter about the news, guys. They can't fool me. I've seen the owner. I've seen him on videos and interviews. And the minute I heard him, I go, oh, he's lying. Like, oh, my God, this is not real. And I get like that. Because, one, you know what I've learned? I don't know, over all my years. I've learned that, if you defend yourself, you're adamant, and you're making your words defend you, not your actions and not your info. Can I give this example? I'll give you an example. Somebody were to come up to me and be like, you're an illegal immigrant. You don't even belong in this country, buddy. You were born in Mexico. If they told me that, right? And I'm going to go, what am I going to do? Excuse me? I have served my country. I am more American than anybody. Am I going to do all that? Or am I just going to go, there's my birth certificate. There, we can stop arguing now. Are we good? You made a statement and a comment, and then here's my birth certificate. Thank you. Okay, bye. Are we done now? Just walk away. You see, I'm telling you this because supermicrocomputers, and they come up and they tell them, hey, you're non-compliant. You haven't filed a 10K or 10Q. You don't show us where you actually get your revenues from. Everybody says you're related parties. You're hiring the individuals that did the bad practices of finance in 2018. You rehired those same individuals. Why do you have to do an interview and a special on YouTube, on your own YouTube channel? Why do you have to ask yourself your own questions? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, there's a video out there on Supermicrocomputers where the owner is doing an interview, and he's coming out and he's looking at everybody in Silicon Valley and he's telling them it's going to be okay. No, we're just growing at a fast rate, at a fast pace. So there's very special finance that we have to do, and very special reports that we have to do, and we're going to get it done by February. You're going to get it done by the deadline they gave you, by the NASDAQ deadline. Okay, good for you. If they didn't give you the deadline, would you say you had to do it by February? If you weren't fraudulent, and if you were, everything was on the up and up, and you could just give the receipts and the actual 10K and 10Q and just go, here, just read that. I don't have to defend myself. I don't have to explain myself. I'm going to let the paperwork do it for me. The numbers, the facts. That's not what was done. What was done was a full-on PR campaign to misdirect. You know what I love about GameStop in the earnings report? That they say nothing. I love it. It drives people crazy. I read it and I go, oh, I get excited because I see transitions. I think the biggest part about this investment that's taught me so much about investing was I don't need a cosigner. I don't need someone to tell me what I'm reading. Did you read that? Yes, I did. Did you see the difference from the previous quarter to this quarter? Yes, I did. I don't need the fanfare. I don't need the cheerleaders. I guarantee you guys, I play football just as hard as I would whether there's people in the stands or there's not. Whether there's a cheerleader there, I still play the same. I guarantee you, I'm playing TFT just as good as I ever would, whether you're watching or not. I do live streams and ranting and talking about the stock market, the economy, whether you're watching or not, whether I'm interacting or I'm not. So supermicrocomputers, do me the favor, man. Drop the info. Drop the act. Stop doing the bullshit. I don't need the Congress grandstanding like we saw earlier in the show. I just need the fundamentals of business, and I'll decide. But the more they talk, the more they expose. That's all I can tell you. All right, more charts. Yeah. Hey guys, we look good. We look healthy. Ah man, we're gonna be amazing. So it's the only thing I buy. Man, let me check this one out. Whoa, man, 1066, 1066. When was that? That was yesterday? In the after hours? Holy shit. 1066 a share. Could you imagine if you had like a share or two? This company, $1,000.53. Man, I mean, if you had a share or two, man, that'd be pretty cool. I'm just saying, like, pretty cool. Okay. There you guys go, right there. Let's go ahead and look at this one right here. Boom. All right. Good website here. First, we're going to look at my position. My bullshit is your bullshit. Your bullshit. And my mouse disappeared. Oh, I don't know what page it's on. It evaporates every now and then. Oh, you can't even see it. Oh my God. This really just happened. Look at that. Tell me if you should. I'm clicking on shit. Oh, there it is. Show back up. Whew. Damn. Man, I was nervous. All right, here we go. So here's a website called Fidelity. Saying right there, I have $23,706 at GameStop. That has ballooned up. I'm up right now over 11% on my investment, and I'm sitting at $26,354. I have 51 shares. We look good. Just so that we're clear, I'm up 83% in the past year. 83% of my portfolio on my position. That's my performance versus the S&P's 22%. I am literally 300% higher than the S&P 500 index. So I'm 3 times the whole index at least. And I look good. I felt good. I look good. I feel good. I am good. GameStop, looking healthy. We'll get more. We'll get a lot more. We'll just keep it that way. I was looking up Edgar's stuff. I'm reading on supermicrocomputers. I'm waiting for the drop. Let's see. More? Nope. No 8Ks, no 10Ks, nothing. Damn. Sucks to be them. We'll go over GameStop financials, guys, real soon. Don't worry. It's going to be amazing. You're going to see net income right here. We are currently trading at $63 million. We're going to be above that. We're going to be way north of that. Man. I've got us for about $150 million. $150 million is my earnings number. Yeah, I'm at 150. 150 million. It's a huge number, guys. Compared to the 6 million we made last year, we're going to be up, God, 3,600%, something like that. Not even that much. Maybe less. Hold on, 150. We're looking, 3,000% increase or something. I don't know. 2,000, maybe. It's gonna be something crazy, guys. Something crazy. Oh, 6 into 150. Yeah. So 2,000% increase on profits. But I'm looking for $150 million. Here's a website. It's gonna get us $150 million of profit. For all of you out there that are doing math, that comes out to around 33 cents a share. Okay? Around 30 cents a share, somewhere in that way. Just so that we're clear, the forecast for GameStop for the quarter is going to be, even for the year. For the year, we're going to be at 33 cents. They have us at 7 cents. It's going to be 25 to 35, in that range, like 30 cents a share. I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about 30 cents. So, is it 30 cents? Yeah. Could you imagine? Where we'll be at 30, they won't even know what to do. And we go to the quarter, look at this. They think we're coming in. This is ridiculous. Because we were at 20 cents at one point. And now they think we're coming in at -1. Yeah, these guys are dreaming, bros. All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. So they think that we're coming in at 20 cents for the quarter 4. Is that what they think is happening? They think we're coming in at 20 cents this quarter. 20 cents per share would be around $80 million profit. $80 million profit means that we would only have operationally around $30 million. Operations would only be $30 million. We did over $60 million. We did $100 million last year on operations. But they're thinking we're only, wow, okay. I'll look it over again. They say 20 cents, that's it. 20 cents, but what about for the full year? For the full year, they only have us at 7 cents. Like, that's not right. 7 cents? No way. Look at that. We ended February 3rd. February 3rd. When did I see all the cards being gone? On the 6th? I saw it happen on the 6th, I thought. But we actually ended on the Monday. The whole thing ended on a Monday. So was that a week ago? Damn, dude. What if we bought all the cards right before the period ended? That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool for the numbers. But yeah, so they think GameStop's coming in at 7 cents a share for the year? No way. No way, guys. Remember what I'm telling you. And I think we're just going to keep shrinking on top line every year. But they think our growth is going to be from here, from 7 cents, we're going to go up 100% in growth. We're going to go from 7 to 13. Hell, from 2 cents to 7 cents is 3 times. It's 3x in earnings. Huh, no way. 7 cents, guys. 7 cents comes out to like $28 million profit. We're way past that. Way past that. 3 analysts said it? Who are the 3 analysts? I'd love to know who they are. Okay, anyway. No, we're going to kill that number, guys. All right, we're good. Thank you so much. Thank you. Blessings, and thank you for the chat. Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Appreciate it. I'd love to see Bitcoin taking a hit. I hope everyone does well. Yeah, when's earnings? Earnings are going to be March 22nd, they said, maybe. But they don't have the official date. GameStop announces earnings 10 days before it actually happens. So just know that part. That's what GameStop does, and they always have. But we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. U.S. Mobile new plan is here. U.S. Mobile new plan. Unlimited priority data. Unlimited talks and tech. Hotspot. Unlimited hotspot. Free Apple Watch plan. Okay. International data in 90 countries. International calling and texting. Free network transfers. Multi-line subscription perks and multi-networks. So this is happening now. Uncapped and no throttling. $44 a month. Shit. U.S. Mobile. That's pretty good. And amazing new plan for U.S. Mobile. Yeah, it is an amazing plan. U.S. Mobile is one of Larry Chain's investments. Just not bad. Now, our President Trump is enforcing tariffs on Canadian steel and Canadian aluminum, and we get the most imports from Canada on steel and aluminum. So those boys got to pay a 25% tariff, and that's pretty awesome. And people think it's going to cost the consumer more money. Just don't buy it if it's Canadian made. Be amazed, wouldn't you? So I'll wait for it. Okay. The last part that I wanted to get to you guys was, let's see, what did I write there? Top of the market. Oh, yeah. Whew. Okay, a couple of things. I say top of the market. That's all I wrote down. I wrote down top of the market. You guys see the charts, it's fine. Man, I got to get up. I got to get ready for this thing I'm going to go do. Go volunteer my time. Oh, I really am going to go. But anyway. By the way, I'm down about 12 pounds right now. I'm still working. I'm still grinding on it. We'll check. I'll weigh myself in a bit, but so tariffs are the threat. That news should have some impact. Trump's in office. That news should have some impact. Everything is moving around you. Everything's, changing. Everybody took their money out of NVIDIA, put it into Meta. The exact amount that came out of NVIDIA went straight over to Meta. So people are just swapping it out. While retail holds. Mojo Loco having meltdowns. She's okay, I hope. Her and her husband. Her husband must be fucking hating his wife, bro. You know, there's this lady who was on this chat. She came in here and she was like, Marantz, why is a good company going down? They told me it was a good company. They told me I was supposed to invest. They is treating us good. And I was like, yo, Mojo Loco, what are you doing? Well, my husband, I told him, he goes to work all day. He comes home, he sees that I'm just making terrible investments. She was too much, bro. I get it now, Marantz. Yes, no, I'm listening. And I explained to her how to invest. I explained to her why to invest. I explained her timelines and horizons and risk assessment. And I did it all. I get it now. Yeah, I understand. The minute NVIDIA starts going up, she go back to it. The minute it goes down, who knows? Man, can you imagine being that husband? I'd be like, baby, can you please stop? Can you please stop watching YouTube? I would come home mad, bro. I'd be, what? You got influence? It's like for all you old school cats and all you guys who grew up, it's like if your wife was addicted to like QVC and she's right there, baby, but we needed the chop slap. Bitch, the only thing we're slapping is you. The hell? It cost me all my money. And I'm saying this, and it's gender neutral. It could be guy or girl. Trust me. There's stay-at-home dads. I used to be one. I used to play WoW all damn day. I used to play video games. I'd be right there. I'd be like, nah, mama. My wife goes, did you do the dishes? I was about to. I was waiting till you got home just to tell me how you want them done. Did you throw the trash? I was about to. Waiting to see if you want me to throw some extra stuff in it before you got home. Yeah, man, it used to be, did you feed the kids? I was about to. Every time, bro. Oh, it was so funny yesterday. So, yesterday I was heated. I was like on cloud nine. What you got, Jackie? You're lying to people again saying you talk about SMCI, or you study this company and this stock. Bullshit, liars. And I got up out the house, and my wife called me, and she said, hey, did you eat? I was like, nah, I'm just going to work, She's like, okay. Did your son eat? And I was like, I don't know. Why don't you ask him? Call him, whatever. She's like, what do you mean? He stood home from school. I was like, what? He stood home from school because there was no school yesterday. They actually had like a holiday or whatever. I forgot. I forgot he was even in the house. He's a grown-ass man. He's 15 years old. Oh, you don't think that's grown? All you guys out there, that's not grown. That's a child. Really? I shall remind you, some of us moved out when we were 16. Some of us managed to make it in life. Some of us were raised by parents that were having kids at 15, 16, 17, 18. Some of us had grandparents that were married at 13 and 14. Some of us stopped putting age restrictions on the things that should be adopted, accepted, taught, like integrity, respect, and hard work, no matter the age. I'm just saying, your ass should be out here grinding, bro. My son better get his ass up if he wants to eat. No, I'm joking. Mama, I didn't know he was. I forgot, man. I was locking up the house and everything. And then him and my daughter out there eating good too, better than me. Don't be calling me, offering me no cold food either. I can't. Oh no. Hey, Dad, are you gonna want some of this? I'll order you some. So when you get home, it's there. What the hell? Told my wife last night. I said, "Baby, the kids they thought of me. They called me up last night. My kids. They called me up and they said, "Hey, Dad, we know you're getting off of work soon, and we wanted to go ahead and get you some Panda Express." Full disclosure, I only eat Panda Express for the fortune cookie. It's the only reason why I get it. I don't want it. But I was just like thinking to myself, like, man, Panda Express is gross when it's cold, and if you put it in the microwave, it just doesn't taste the same. I want something fresh. I want something that feels good. I want something that will weigh me down. And I don't get off for another 2 hours. So I called my wife. I said, baby, you know what? Them kids did good. They're on their own. They called me, but I don't want anything. She's like, okay. I said, you know what I'll do, babe? I'll get myself something on the way home. I went to a Del Taco, and I sat there in the parking lot by myself with my truck on, and I'm listening to videos, listening to current events, whatever's playing, and I'm eating in my truck all alone. The most warm. Oh, the fries were so warm and good, and the burrito was great. And I finished it, and I looked up, and I was like, damn, that was peaceful. That was good. That's how food's supposed to taste. You order it, and you eat it right there. If I got to wait, man, hell no. I'm okay, man. I'm a simple man. That made my night right there. It really did. Until I got home. Binks was on the roof. My dumbass cat jumped on the roof and couldn't get down. And we all know I'm not going to go touch him. I'm not going to go pick him up. My wife was like, hey, forgot to tell you, Binks is on the roof. What? That dude will kill you. That guy, I live with the predator. Binks is a cat, like most cats. I wear long sleeves when I'm around him, okay? I'll wear pants. This dude will claw you. He will bite. He's waiting for you to fall asleep. This dude is a murderer, okay? And if you guys don't know the pictures, he put my wife in the hospital last year. But because it's my son's cat, she was like forgiving. And I was like, no, he bit her. He scratched her. He tore my ass up. And I almost killed him, bros, because you guys already know I was ready to go into the drawer. I'm like, I'll be back. Hold up. I'll be right back, babe. We're about to see if he got 9 lives. I swear, because I got 9 shots. Swear to God. I'm like, let's just do it. Fucking cat is crazy. And it's because, oh, no, babe. I'm making excuses for a cat. Oh, my whole family does this shit. Man, no, baby, he was overstimulated. His sensories, he walked outside, and it was just, he just got overstimulated. He smelled something. Oh, no, I ran at him too fast. What were you doing? You made sudden movements. You reached down. Bitch, yeah, I did that. I'm just living my life. I'm not scared of no damn cat. I'll tell you right now, I'm not scared of him, but I don't walk next to him and I don't walk near him. No, I do not. This morning, Binks, after they got his ass off the roof, okay, he got off the roof. He jumped down onto the brick wall, jumped down to the ground. I was like, yeah, he's a cat. He's strong as fuck. He can figure it out, babe. And if he's stuck on the roof, then he's stuck on the roof. He was meowing all night. I don't care. The hell with them. So my son walks up. My son walks up to Binks. It's his cat. My son walks up to him with no shirt on. I'm nervous. No shirt. Son, he's about to tear your nipple off. He's going to tear that titty off right off. I swear to you. Binks is a killer, bro. Bringing out his claws and everything. So this morning, I know when all the animals wake up because the 2 dogs, Tito and Lovey, they go outside. And they love to go outside and play. They're just like, like they wake up, we open up the sliding door, and they just run. They're doing their thing. Binks walking around like he's the king of the house. And he's hissing at my daughter. And I'm like, yo, bro, do you hear that shit in your sleep? Whew. I woke up, I was like, who's he hissing at? Where is he? Oh, he's in the living room. He's coming. And he was like walking in the hallway, hissing again. I'm like, fuck that. No. I just opened up the door, guys. I opened the door and go, all right, Binks, let's go, bro. Let's go. I'll let you out. And he walks slow. Like he's just a king, bro. Just like, yeah, that's my house. Matter of fact, I'm going on the roof. I'm going to stay up there and look at it. And he's like, it's not even, I got to move. The dude took over my house. And this is the only man, this man can whoop my ass. Because I'm afraid to hit him. I know if I punch him once, he's dead. But still, we're going to have to find out, man. Damn, my cat is real. And you guys that got cats? Am I the only one? Am I the only one who's scared of his own cat? That dude ain't mine. I tell my son sometimes, he's yours. You go to college, son, you move out, he's yours. Take him with you. I don't care. Drop his ass off at Walmart on the way there. All right, there's the chart. GameStop looks great. Markets look okay. I just came out here to hang out with you guys. In the hospital, nope. He would be donated to the nearest Chinese buffet. No, that is so wrong to say, Whiskey. Whiskey, that is embarrassing. Don't say that again, please. Okay, it's ridiculous. Cats are respectable animals, and I appreciate if you don't talk that way in the chat. Thank you, sir. I got a cat, all claws. It loves me though. Yeah, American. My wife wrestles with Binks. My wife like messes with them and shit, and he's responsive. And no. Okay, Sergio, you're the highest bidder. 3.11 too much. AMC is up 11 pennies. Oh, that's cool. I saw some meme with Michelle Obama in the mail strat. Like, honestly, guys, I don't even want to read the chat anymore. You guys are ridiculous. Like, I can't with you guys. Dave Chappelle said it's not domestic violence. I can't read this chat. Oh. Having a cat is like having an emphatic room. Yeah, and what is it? Yeah, no. I'm good. Okay. Marantz, what's your thoughts? So here's okay, this is a question now. I can't with you guys. You guys are ridiculous, man. I have a sign that says "Cat's in charge. We just live here," without a doubt. Having a cat is like, yeah, I'm with you. Okay, Marantz, what's your thoughts on Ryan Cohen, Roaring Kitty, last tweet, or Ryan Cohen, RC, right now, RK? You got to get your RCs and RKs correct. You said if I want to give it away, I want a cat. No, I don't want to give away Binks. Binks is actually cool. Bros, if there's somebody in this chat that will take Tito and Lovey off of my hands together, collectively, they're gone, bro. They're gone. I don't care. I already told my wife. My wife said, go ahead. I said, shit. Huh. Man, I guarantee you Tito's the last dog I rescue. I guarantee it. Shit. Every time I see a dog homeless and malnourished and shaking in the sun in the wintertime or whatever, like they're not gonna make it. That's just what happened. I just saw them. No. I'll take the dogs. You can have the cats. Oh man. No. I'm ready to drive to Walmart right now. Just open up the door and let them out. Say, I'll be back. My wife would kill me. My daughter would have a heart attack on me. Ugh. Marantz will just remember Tito destroying his shoes. Yeah, so Tito ate my shoes back in the day. He doesn't do it now. I don't give him the opportunity now. Tito ate my Ethernet cable for my computer and how I connect. And so Tito's a problem, bro. Not now. You know what? Now I really like Tito. He's a cool dude now. Cool cat. He thinks he's a cat. That's all. Tito's too much, bro. He's too much. He's just too playful. He's just too much. He's a puppy, right? He was a puppy before, but now he's a bro. Like, okay, I'll give you this example. This morning, my wife comes into the room, and she goes, "Hey, your dog got out." How? I've got chicken wire. I've got everything. I mean, this guy can't get out. It's not impossible. She goes, "Oh, well, last night when Binks was up on the roof, the kids didn't shut the gate all the way." And I said, "So you guys left the gate open?" And she was just like, "Oh, it was dark. We couldn't see. You saw what it was like." I was like, "Y'all left the gate open." So I had to stop what I was doing this morning, and while I was playing League of Legends, I had to go and chase Tito down. Oh, and I tricked him. I told him I had a treat for him. I go, "Here, boy." Like I had a treat. He looks at me. He thinks it's a game. He thinks it's a game to run in everybody's yard along my whole neighborhood. He runs down the whole neighborhood in their yards. And he pisses on everybody's lights and rocks and grass. Tito is a tyrant of this neighborhood. He's this big. He's tiny. There's some big ass dog out there. There's a dog the size of me that's been trying to break out and kill Tito for like, I don't even know, like 4 months. And Tito's out there just running fast and teasing him. I said, don't do it. And the other day that dog got out. And I was like, yo, there's a bear in the street. That's how big that dog is. Massive, guys. Oh, not Tito the other day broke out and was hanging out with 2 other dogs and trying to tell them what to do. And those 2 other dogs were big. But Tito broke out. Tito jumped on top of the trash cans and jumped out the backyard. He jumped onto the trash cans, jumped onto the brick wall, ran it, and jumped out. Like he's something else, bro. He is something else, Tito. And I was like, come on, Tito, man. Can you please stop jumping on the trash cans? Can you like, I gotta watch. Like, see, that's my problem. I don't want to live life strategically planning out where I put my shoes, where I put things away, where I give them access to, where do I put my trash cans? I got to worry about where I put my trash cans? Like, there's one less thing I got to worry about, bros. So this guy, and then so I try to get rid of Tito on my own because there's people who like Tito. There's a lot of people who like Tito one-on-one. But because his best friend is Levy, and they're homies, my wife says they got to go together. If you're going to get rid of one, you got to get rid of both of them at the same time because they need each other. They'll cry without each other. They'll be lonely without each other. I'm like, what? What is this? Oh, she said the same thing about the cats, and then Hercules died. And what now? Binks is just walking around. Binks is like, yeah, one less cat. Bro, them cat, I'm telling you right now, you can't turn your back on a cat. You got to be careful. You put shit down. Like, you put the food down and you back away. That's how crazy cats are. Be careful. That's all I can tell you. Marantz, bro, GameStop at $100 is in 8 months. I used to live with jerk cats in my childhood. My current cat is a sweetheart. Oh, yeah. Hercules was a sweetheart. We had a piece of shit cat growing up. I mean, not growing up, but I mean, like right now, like Binks is a villain, bro. Villain. But he's my son's cat. That's why I love him. It makes my son happy. King Tito energy. Yeah, that guy's something else, bro. That's why we have no house pets. Let me tell you, my wife is regretting it every day. She's like, oh, what do they want? They just want to jump on the couch because they run full speed. They jump on the couch. They jump off. That's how Lovey broke her leg. She jumped off the couch. I was like, dude, are you kidding, dude? Here's a question. Request. Any chance you could explain how short switch long? I've tried explaining it, but I'm really unsure on how it works all myself. Roaring titties. Nice to meet you, bro. First time in the chat, I see. No. Here's how it works. So, a lot of people, a lot of investment firms, when they invest, they built off a margin. Okay, so they might short something. And when they short it off of the borrowed funds they have, they also have a long. Their longs are blue chips, the Mag 7, for example. So the collateral is always going to be on the long side, and they'll sell short anything they want and just start going. It's all about the size of your actual portfolio, the size of the egg you're playing with. And let's just say they're upside down $20 billion, and that stock starts running the opposite direction. The shorted stock starts running up instead of down, i.e. GameStop. What'll happen is they'll reinvest in a new short position on the new top side, the new spot that it's at. And you're like, okay, so now they're doubling down. Yeah, they're going to double down because they know eventually it's going to come back down. It can't go up forever on these runs, right? So they'll try to gain back their losses all the way down from the next bump that they just got. So there's really no losing if you're like this real market maker and you're this real investor like Citadel or like all these guys claim they are. Like Jackie was boasting. I make money up and down on GameStop, not just, and in the same breath that he says he makes money up and down on it, he said, I believe in this company and I believe in Moaz. Like, he uses all the trigger words. And so you can say all of those things, but your actions are speaking completely against what it really is. You know, if you wanted to make more of an investment, then you would just go to work, get more money, and go buy more. Not trying to manipulate an outcome because you think you can read a chart, which you clearly can't. I mean, look at right now, he costed all his investors money, but let me step back from that for a minute. As the stock price continues to go up, and you guys want to cut bait, you know, boom. They could buy it back in. They could buy back in and lose whatever the difference was from the original borrowed share. But doesn't mean that they return the shares. They'll buy back in, but they're almost like Michael Jordan, where they go, I can't lose. So they go right back to the same short and get another one. And the reason why I tell you it's happening this way, where they're really not coming out of the position, because you're looking at 32 million shares short right now, still reported 8% short of this company, and that's the self-reported side, right? But as they're going long, there's like an infinite amount of shares to borrow. When you looked at Vanguard's voting power, when they filed to buy more GameStop shares, and they said that they had 25 million shares of GameStop, their voting power was at 0. That means they've lent out all their shares. And that's how they make money. Really, if people don't know why BlackRock owns things or why Vanguard owns things, it's just there so that they can borrow the shares, buy the shares, and then borrow them out. Let them, collect interest off that borrowed side. So that's what they do. That's what the market's always been. So, I don't get caught up on shorts and how they convert to long. The real idea is that they buy back in and then they believe in it and they try to make money off the top side. A lot of these guys who go long actually have a cash secured put or a put on the backside to hedge that position, and vice versa. If they're short the stock, they have calls. Everyone has calls. So we've seen it. We've seen it where people are trying to protect themselves, and the exposure is just enough risk that, this on-site risk that says to you, oh, well, if GameStop goes to $35, it's okay because I have calls on the top side of it. And those calls in turn will give them the shares they need, right? They have enough calls to honor whatever shares they borrowed. I think that these guys are the experts of the financial markets and that they've calculated the risk tenfold. I think they've been doing that since they got caught on GameStop, and not realizing how transparent they need to be, and the rest of the market that's allowing them to be that way. Now, you've been allowed to operate in the shadows for years with no social media knowing what you're doing, and nobody knows. Like, you guys didn't know Bill Ackman to the point that you do today. You guys didn't know that King Griffin had all this disposal. But people knew, right? The circles of finance knew, but you didn't know. A regular investor that didn't know the markets, and now GameStop's afforded you this info. But yeah, how they're going long, it's real simple. They're buying back in. They'll have to buy back in and take it to the top side. But think about everybody who was shorting GameStop when it was $10. Do you not remember this? Last year, this same time frame, GameStop was around $12. And it was February. It was 13, 14, $12, around that range. And people were telling you, oh, we're just going to take it all the way down to $6. That's what it's worth. Michael Packer said it was $6. Tony De Niro said it was $6. Martin Scarelli said it was $6. And Marantz is telling us that it's $30, right? It's worth way more than that. And now look at us. Now we're trading at 30, and whoever was shorting it at 12 and 11 and 10, I've always said it's the hardest thing to do. The hardest thing is to sell short and try to knock down a stock that had already come down so far. You would have to wait for a reverse stock split or an implementation of like APE or the reverse stock split that AMC did. That's when you're going to short. You're going to short when it gets all that equity back to it by doing a reverse stock split. Right now, GameStop at $27, $25, that's zero. That's zero. Like, could you imagine trying to short it at 23 and 24? what you're trying to do and what you're trying to push down. You can't push it all the way down to 21. You can't push down to 19. No, because GameStop diluted their float and they sold it to the world at 21, at 28. Right there, that gives you a base. That gives you this buffer. This tells you, hey, you can't get below this. The bulk of institutions bought GameStop, at $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 back in the day. Roy and Kitty was buying it in the teens, in the single digits, and even Ryan Cohen bought it at $8. So you're like, okay, so this is the floor, this is the base, this is the support. Well, as we ran through the whole damn world, we finally found our support bubbling up to around $9, $10. Right there, now that's the ricochet. That's where we take back off. So as we took off, what did GameStop do? The unthinkable. They went ahead and offered more shares, and they raised more cash. But by selling shares at these levels, on these run-ups and where they're at, now everyone's there. Everyone's at $20. Everyone's at 29, 28. So now you have this window. You have this price target. You have these real targets and support. So GameStop's done the complete opposite of what anyone would do when they're fighting shorts. GameStop said, that's fine. You guys want to think that this is a suppressed price and this is the real price? We can do it. But look what's about to happen. We're going to offer more shares on the next run-up. So the minute these short sellers start closing positions and trying to go long, well, the price goes up. And as the price went from $10 a share, $9.95, $9.90, it went all the way up to $80, $70 pre-market just in a matter of a month. It went crazy, 8x. Okay, these guys were trying to catch up. Now they're trying to stall it out. They're like, well, let me tell you, 31 million shares, 32 million shares right now short. I'd love to know where you're going to get them, because people have been buying this shit since it was $10, $7, $18, and now it's it's $25, $27. It's going to cost you a pretty penny to close out those last shares, but it's going to cost you more 10 years from now. It's going to cost you more 5 years from now, because the collateral for those shorts and where you're at, you're just not going to make it back. Call contract is just a contract, not actual shares, until it's exercised. There you go. That's fine. Maybe we see a GME dividend in 2026, buyback or dividends. What is better? For shareholders, current shareholders, buybacks are massive. Buybacks are great. Certainly if your price is suppressed. You see, these are the two options. You can either give money, via dividends and reinvest, and that's what a lot of people do. And eventually that trickles down to you, investment-wise, because people are buying them. Or people are giving out dividends and they're reinvesting them. But if you're doing a share buyback, that's for like the people there. The dividend itself is for new investors. Existing investors, yes, but you want to influence people that are thinking about investing. The guys who only invest based off of dividends, there's a lot of them like that. You would definitely get into the S&P 500 with either announcement. The announcement of share buyback, boom. That means people are going to want to be a part of the program that GameStop's doing, the billions of dollars. I think GameStop could do the money glitch with Bitcoin, or they raise more money on the profile of it and take that money, and that pumps the stock price, and then offer shares and dilute their float more and take that other cash and buy Bitcoin again. Like, they could do it that way, or they could just keep doing what they're doing and let the money sit and don't do anything big until it's time, and you'll know when it's time. Because when it's time to grow and expand GameStop on this footprint that they've been doing, like this model, the scale, guess what they're going to have? They're going to have cash to do it. And they don't have to, when they borrow money, they're going to be able to leverage a AAA position and borrow at 0% or 0.9. It's covey-free, covey light loans. So the covenants won't be there. It's not a junk loan. It's not a shark loan. It's none of that. It's just the right type of loan, and they'll find the right funding because they have all that cash. So GameStop's riding high. Yeah, perfect. Thank you guys so much. GameStop's riding the green line. Yeah, they're doing great. All right, guys, I'm going to get up out of here because I got to get ready, and I'm going to get to that thing I want to do. So appreciate you guys, and no, you do not collect a dividend on a call contract. No. You collect premiums, and you sell it, you sell the contract, and there's a premium involved, and there's a strike price because of the premium. You know, the strike price isn't, it isn't like, if I buy a $25 call, the stock hits $25, doesn't mean I made money. If you ride it all the way out to the end, you definitely didn't make money, but only because you have to make $25 a share plus the premium that you paid for the contract. So there's always a premium, and that's why GameStop's so, at times, very expensive, because you can buy some call contracts, but the premium costs you. You know, so your break even or your strike price might be $25, but your break even might be $26, something like that. Thanks, guys. I asked because I saw something on my yearly statement. I had a long call contract, JP Morgan Chase. Okay. I have tons of shares at GameStop. Good job, Pam. My friend said I should do calls. I told her if I lock in my shares, I'm giving them insurance at a set price, when otherwise they have no access to my shares. Okay. Good job, Pam. I don't know your friend, but your friend obviously doesn't know what GameStop is. You know, I would tell a lot of you guys want to make money, you guys want to do these covered calls, you want to practice all this, you guys want to, I got to make this money. Good, go do it. Go do it on a different stock. Go buy anything you want, buy thousands of it, and write some covered calls. And collect the premium there, and then just go ahead and buy GameStop. Risking what GameStop is, it's just not worth it to me. Because any covered call you sell won't have value unless you're writing it really close to the current price. That's the true value. The true value is, you know, deep in the money calls, I guess. But no, like, to give you the example, you're sitting here and you're like writing covered calls on GameStop, and you're risking it. You're risking your investment that you've had for GameStop went from $10 to $80. Anybody who wrote covered calls in that time frame, they're in trouble. The guys who bought the calls, those are the winners. But you yourself, no, you're in trouble. You're getting assigned and you're getting out of here, or you're going to roll out of it with what, more cash? And at what price point? Where are you now rolling out of? It's just not worth it to me. If I wanted to write covered calls and make money off of the premiums, then I would be selling other stocks. I'd be selling other things, not GameStop. My opinion, of course. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Frankie Big Leaps. We had so many like that. Yeah, those guys aren't real fans. They're not true supporters of GameStop. I know what Roaring Kitty does. I know Roaring Kitty obviously probably sells covered calls, but he understands business. And he understands the markets. You don't. You think you do, but you don't. The man was hired as an investment teacher and guru. There's a reason why. But, you know, hey, what do I know? I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude that knows the dude. Ah, GameStop looks good. All right, I'm going to get up out of here, guys. I got to take a shower. I got to wake up. Even though I already took one, I got to wake up again. That's how much I got to do, because I'm on fumes, baby, on fumes. Don't sleep as much as you guys do. You know, losing the weight, trying to get myself back so I can get out there, throw footballs again, and, you know, surprise everybody with a GameStop tattoo. Because if you don't have a GameStop tattoo, what are you doing with your life? That's what I ask you. GameStop, can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. Remember, guys, politics is one thing, investments are another. And your life, well, it's not so far detached. Thank you for the 5 free memberships for the channel. Appreciate you. Kid Caribou. Keep killing it, guys. If you guys need me, you know where to find me. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. Oh, you know, I didn't play one song today, so I apologize if I didn't play any. But if you know me, you know I'm always got the songs on deck. What was that song I liked? There was a song that I played the other day for my wife. And she goes, hey, that's a good song. But I'll find it right now. But other than that, I just want to say thank you guys so much. Love it. You know what? Hey, babe, this is a good song. You guys should all listen to. I'll see you guys around. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. I'll see you around, millionaires. Peace.